Vladimir Putin keeps his private life incredibly quiet compared to many other politicians around the globe. His divorce was finalised in 2014, but the cause isn't exactly clear. Putin told journalists that it was a joint decision and that they practically don't see each other. It's understandable how a marriage could break apart because of this, but it has been suggested that Putin had an affair for the majority of his marriage multiple times. Apparently the president had a tangle with a controversial spy turned sex symbol, Anna Chapman, while other sources claim that Putin has had a long-term relationship with Olympic gold medalist Alina Kabayeva. While you probably wouldn't guess it, Vladimir Putin is pretty much fluent in English and German as well as Russian. Though he doesn't enjoy speaking the language, he uses it on a conversational level when he has to, mainly at functions. At a charity event in St. Petersburg, he even sang a rendition of Blueberry Hill, which was reasonably good. Putin comes across as someone who is very conscious of his image. He's often photographed half naked while swimming, hunting, or doing other activities. Anyway, many think this behaviour is compensating for something, as it's been said before that Putin has a Napoleon complex. He's quite a small man in stature, roughly 5 foot 6 inches, and he utterly refuses to address this in interviews. So if you do say to Putin, "Hey, you're quite short, aren't you?" in an interview, then yeah, he won't answer the question, and frankly, you'll probably end up being killed. If we're to believe the Russian media, Vladimir Putin is a man of the hour, a man of action, and a man who's always at the right place at the right time. One news story implied that Putin saved the television crew from a tiger by using a tranquilizer dart. He later admitted that this was a stunt, trying to publicise the extinction of the animal, but rumours imply that the tiger later died as a result of this stunt, which is not a good way of saving tigers. Don't shoot guns at tigers, even if they're not real ones. Seriously guys, it's not rocket science. While the Western world might not think highly of Putin to say the least, and his policies have been hugely offensive, he's seemingly beloved in his motherland. Several Russian products make direct reference to the nation's leader, such as Putin, which is canned food, and Putinka vodka. However, the latter is produced by Moscow Distillery Crystal Company, which is state-owned. So it's kind of hard to tell whether or not people actually like him, when it seems like the things that seem to like him are being funded by him. By the time Putin reached his 18th birthday, he already had obtained a black belt in judo. He's also trained in the Russian art of sambo and frequently practices both martial arts in his spare time, citing them as his life philosophies. When asked about his fighting background, Putin replied it was necessary in order to keep his place in the pack, which seems to imply that he thinks he's a wolf. You're not a wolf, Putin. You're a human being. While many think of politicians as extremely spoiled and privileged, this certainly wasn't the case for Vladimir in his youth. Putin was born in the Soviet Union during the middle of the Cold War, which was a pretty bad time. Leningrad was war-torn, overpopulated and underdeveloped, and the living conditions were frankly terrible. In several interviews, Putin recalls sharing a communal apartment with 2 other families, and how he had to chase rats through the building just to scare them away. Many government officials and other sources suspect that Vladimir Putin was behind the death of the author, political activist and ex-KGB agent Alexander Litvinenko. After publishing 2 books accusing both the Russian government and Putin of several illegal acts, Litvinenko suddenly fell ill and died in 2006. Initial examinations found traces of polonium on his body, making it seem as if he was poisoned, and poisoned in a pretty nasty way. Going by radioactive substances is not a lot of fun. His wife won the right to an inquest, but several delays have thwarted any attempt at an official autopsy, though a public inquiry was launched in 2015. Before he took up any position in government, Putin was an officer in the KGB, operating in East Germany from 1975 through to 1991. Allegedly, Putin's main role was to recruit undercover agents who would then infiltrate and spy on the Western world. He left the organisation and returned to Russia in 1991, having achieved the rank of a lieutenant colonel. It's believed that the sum of Vladimir Putin's personal worth is around the figure of $70 billion, which is frankly more money than anyone needs. In the past, many politicians and journalists have claimed that Putin has secret stakes in several major companies, adding to his rumoured net wealth by how amounts? I mean, who knows? He could have fingers in all sorts of pies. Anyway, in addition, Putin owns over 20 luxurious villas and properties, which are said to be worth many millions each, and apparently includes a $1 billion palace overlooking the Black Sea that he allegedly owns through an anonymous trust.
Thanks everyone for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. For more top 10 lists, be sure to subscribe by clicking on the button that you can see now.